My name is John Sanantant, and it will be a pleasure to share my story with you. I'm 68 years old, and I'm about to tell you something nobody prepares you for. When you finally decide to grow, the people around you won't applaud you. They'll abandon you. And the most painful part? You'll think the problem is you. It took me 4 to 3 years to understand what was really happening. And by the time I figured it out, it was too late. For most of my life, I was average. Not that I was a failure. I had a job. I had friends. I went out every weekend, complained about my boss on Mondays, drank beer on Fridays. We were a group of 6, friends since our early 20s. We did everything together. And you know that comforting feeling of belonging, of having your place in the world? I had that. We understood each other. We complained about the same things. We dreamed about the same things, but never did anything about it. And that was fine, because we were all in the same boat. None of us were evolving. But at least we weren't alone in our stagnation. That's what I thought friendship was. Shared comfort, mediocrity in a group. But at 43, something inside me broke. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't an accident or a tragedy. It was quiet. I woke up one morning, looked in the mirror, and didn't recognize the man staring back at me. I was old, tired, empty. And for the first time in my life, I asked myself, is this it? Is this how it's going to end? So I started to change. Small things at first. Waking up earlier. Cutting back on drinking. I started reading books I'd been saying I'd read someday for years. I went back to school. Took a course I'd always wanted to take but never had time for. I started taking care of my health. Lost weight. Gained energy. And for the first time in decades, I felt alive. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about impressing anyone. It was about finally becoming the person I always knew I could be, but was too afraid to try. But here's what nobody tells you about personal growth. When you change, the people around you don't change with you. And they don't get happy for you. They get uncomfortable. At first, it was subtle. I stopped going to the bar every Friday. Said I was tired, wanted to wake up early on Saturday. The joke started. Look at the athlete. Now you're too important for us? I laughed along. Tried to show I was still the same, but I wasn't. The calls got fewer. The invitations stopped coming. When I shared an accomplishment, I got that certification. The silence was deafening. Nobody said congratulations. Nobody asked how it went. They changed the subject, or worse, they minimized it. Oh, anyone can get a certification these days. You've got time for that stuff, don't you? And I started to feel guilty, like I'd done something wrong, like I'd betrayed the group. So I did what most people do in that situation. I tried to go back. I went back to the bar, back to the complaining, back to pretending everything was fine, because I didn't want to lose my friends. They were all I had. And for a few months, it worked. They included me again. The laughter came back. But you know what happened to me? I died inside. Every time I said yes to something I no longer wanted to do, I said no to who I was becoming. Every time I pretended to be happy with mediocrity, I betrayed the version of me that had fought so hard to emerge. And the worst part? They didn't even notice my sacrifice. Because to them, I had just gone back to normal. I spent 2 years in that back and forth. 2 years trying to be two people at once. Until one day, my wife looked me in the eyes and said something that changed everything.
You're dying again. And this time, by choice.
So I made the hardest decision of my life. I chose to grow. And I let the consequences happen. I stopped trying to explain. Stopped trying to prove I was still the same. Because I wasn't. And finally, I was at peace with that. And you know what happened? I lost all of them. All 5, one by one. There were no fights, no arguments, just silence. The messages stopped. The invitations never came again. And when I tried to set something up, there was always an excuse. At 47, I was completely alone. And for months, I regretted it. I thought I'd made the biggest mistake of my life. But then, something started to happen. New people started showing up. Not people like my old friends. Different people. People who were growing, building, evolving. And for the first time in my life, I understood the difference between true friendship and complicity in mediocrity. My old friends didn't love me. They loved the version of me that made them feel better about their own choices. As long as I was stagnant, they felt justified. When I started to grow, I became a mirror. And they hated the reflection. Today, at 68, I don't have those friends anymore. And you know what? I don't miss them. Because the people around me now don't need me to be small for them to feel big. They celebrate when I grow. Because they're growing too. If you're growing and the people around you are pulling away, don't blame yourself. Don't go back to make others comfortable. Because the truth is this: you're not here to be small so others can feel big. You're here to become who you really are. And the right people won't need you to shrink to stand beside you. I lost years trying to keep people who never wanted my evolution. Don't make the same mistake. The discomfort you cause by growing isn't a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign you're finally doing something real. Let the uncomfortable people leave and trust that the right ones will show up.